Okay, so we're going to carry on with our character today and build the arm. So just make sure you've got nothing selected, and then we're going to click on your body, hit tab to go into edit mode, and then we're going to add the arm directly on, and this will then inherit all the properties of this mesh, so it will have the mirror modifier already applied. So let's go to add, and then add a cylinder, and the arm socket has 8 edges, so we need to make sure the cylinder has 8 edges as well. So the other thing is, we're going to move this in a minute, but if you've got clipping turned on and you try and move it, it will sort of join together at the middle. So you need to make sure clipping is off, and then you can move the arm. So I'm going to go into face mode with 3 and select the top and bottom, and then press X to delete those faces. I'm then going to select one of the faces and press L, and that will select all the linked faces. Then I'm going to press S to scale, and then I want to rotate the arm so that it's horizontal. So I need to rotate it around the green axis, which is the Y axis. So I'm going to type R, Y, 90, and that will rotate it 90 degrees around the Y axis. And now what we can do, press 1 on your number pad to go into the front orthographic mode, and we can then move the arm into position. So we're just going to eyeball this. I'm going to scale it down. So I'm thinking something roughly like that. Now obviously yours might be slightly different. And then I'm going to press R to rotate, and because we're in front orthographic view, it will be locked to this XY plane. And I'm going to just try and eyeball where I might want my arm to go. So I'm probably going to bring the arm down here a little bit more. So my shoulder's not great, and it's going to need a little bit of work, I think. So I'm probably going to think of it like about here. And what I'll have to do, I'll have to change everything a bit, maybe make it a bit narrower. There we go. So I'm going to have to modify this part because it doesn't look right when I try and put the arm on. And instead of bringing the arm down here near to the body, I'm going to bring it a bit further away so that when we put the bones in, they won't influence this area. So having got that done, it isn't big enough. I may need to scale it out again. There we go. So it's going to take a bit of adjustment, and depending on your model it might be slightly different. Now I want to select this edge loop going around here, so I press 2 to select edge mode, and then I'll press Alt, hold Alt down and click, and that will select the loop of edges going all the way around. I'm just going to hide that plane. So I can then press GG on the keyboard, and what that will do, it will allow me to slide these edges up, and I want it to be something like that. Now I'm not bothered about this edge loop, we're going to move that. The one I'm bothered about is the bottom one, and that's because that's where the arm's going to come out. I'm just going to scale that down a little bit. It's a little bit big. There we go. So this is where the arm's going to come out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the top of the arm up. So the way I'm going to do this, and there's a couple of different ways of doing it. You could use the edge loops and join them together. But what I'm going to do is use the vertices. So 1 for vertex mode, or click up here. And what we'll do is we're going to turn snapping on and snap to vertex. So just make sure it's not on increment, that it's on vertex. Increment is the grid. And then when you're in move mode, you can literally move the vertex and it will snap into position. Now, there is potentially a problem. It might not join together like that, like mine has. You need to make sure in the options you've got auto merge on. If you don't have auto merge on, what will happen is when you separate them like this, they're not joined together. So you actually have two vertices in the same space and they're not joined. So we need auto merge turned on, and then we'll click and drag, and now it's joined that mesh. So we do that for the others, click and drag, and then we'll come around. I think this one probably goes here, this one goes here, this one is going to go to here, and this one is going to go to here, and this one goes here. So now we've fixed the arm onto the shoulder. Let's just extrude the arm, and that will probably be done for this video. So I think what we'll do, I'll just turn that picture off, is we'll go back into edge mode. We'll hold Alt and select that edge loop. Press 1 on your number pad and bring back your drawing. And then to move this about while you're in front orthographic mode, you need to hold Shift and use your middle mouse button. So we're going to try and extrude this down. So I'm thinking maybe the elbow wants to be about here, and I'm going to press S to scale that in, maybe not so much, and then I'm going to think about coming down to where the wrist might be, and I'm probably going to scale that in and probably do another one before the hand starts to come out. So that's probably sufficient. You can always realign it a little bit more. It is quite tricky to get this arm the right length, and at the moment we're literally just getting the basic shape in. We can worry about shaping it properly later, although I will do one little thing. I'm probably going to move this edge loop. Oops. Now, the reason that's happened is I've still got snapping on, so remember to turn that off. I'm just going to bring this forward a little bit. And I'm going to select this edge loop with Alt and bring that one forward. And I'm going to select this edge loop and I'm going to bring it a little bit back. What I'm doing is I'm trying to create a little bit of a natural bend at the elbow backwards, and then the arm comes forward a bit. And that's to help the inverse kinematics like we've done with the knee, so that it knows by default which way to bend, because you really don't want your arm bending backwards. It'll look painful. So we're nearly done. Let's just sort the end of the arm out. Just wondering whether it is quite long enough. It's going to take a little bit of adjustment, and you're going to have to tweak it probably when you put the hand in, rescale it and get it about right. But I'm happy with that. That'll do for now. So what we need to do is finish the end off and get it ready for the hand itself. So I'm going to hide my drawing, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill some of these faces in. So let me just have a look. So I'm going to get this one. So I'm going to use edge mode, this one, this one, and this one. And I'm going to press F to fill. Then this one, and this one. So I'm filling in the ends. And then this one, this one, this one, and this one. And now I've got the end filled in. So when the arm comes out, it will come out, and the hand will come out. Now the wrist is sort of, your arm is rounded at the top, but when it gets to your wrist, it's quite flat, and your hand is quite flat. So we need to flatten this off. And I think the easiest way to do this is to grab in vertex mode. So number 1, make sure you're in vertex mode. Let's select this one and this one, and we're going to press GG, and that will allow us to slide the vertices along that line, and that will allow us to keep it in line with the hand. So I'm just going to slide them in a little bit, and GG, slide them in a little bit too, just to narrow it in. And then I'm going to do these top 2, so GG, slide them in, the bottom 2, GG, slide them in. And what we're trying to do is trying to create, get a thinner, flatter end where we can actually extrude the hand, and we can tweak the shape of that, because that's not quite right. These probably need to go in a little bit more too, and you can literally just pull it in and try and shape it so it's right. But we'll worry about that when we've got the hand there so we can see what we're doing. I'm just concerned about getting this bit right, and I'm going to edge slide that loop, and I'm trying to get these as equal as possible. So I'm going to GG and I'm going to slide it that way. GG and slide it that way. I'm trying to get these three faces here as square and even as possible, because they're actually going to become fingers in a little while. So we're going to leave it there. That's the arm done, and the arm was a tricky part, and the hand is a tricky part too. So if it doesn't work first time, just delete it or load your file back in, have a few tries, and just see if you can get roughly the arm shape you need. Now, the other thing you might notice before I go is, oh, it's okay, it's just some of it looks smooth and some of it doesn't. Oh, yeah, as you can see, look, it doesn't look smooth, and it doesn't look smooth here, and that's because we haven't put the smoothing on this because we've applied it separately. So if you just tab out of it and then go to Object, Shade Smooth, it will then apply that. And don't worry about how that looks at the end. Once we've got the hand on, we can fix that, and then we can give it a bit of shape if you've got muscles or you want to define the shape a bit more. And it's going to depend, your character might have a coat on, so you might want to make this a bit more bulky. It depends how you do it. So we're only roughing out the shape, we're not perfecting it yet at this stage. So there's your arm, and if it's not long enough, we'll just make it longer later on. Okay, thank you.